Happy New Year!
Happy New Year.
Happy 2025. This is officially January 1st of 2025, and we're so excited. It's always a really exciting time when a new year comes along because it just means, I know this is probably going to sound cliche, but it just means like new beginnings, new opportunities, and so many new things can happen if you set your mind to it. And it's just like an exciting time, I guess, to
Yeah,
reinvent yourself if you want to.
it's fun. It's fun because like you said, it's a reset, right? Like you get to make some decisions, review your past year, celebrate that the life that you lived in the past year, and
Yeah.
then set some intentions on how you want to see your life and career. It could be a million different things, skincare, how it's going to move forward in 2025 in the new year. And, I don't think that setting up these unrealistic expectations is something that should be done. It should be really, considering what you can tackle so that you have success with it and that you can
Yeah.
achieve it and realize it. But it is the time for fresh starts.
It is. I remember last year in our episode for 2024, we were talking about like goals and not always setting these insane goals that will always
That were too hard to achieve.
exactly setting goals that are too hard to achieve. And when the new year comes around, like, and you're finished that, you're like, wow, I achieved nothing. I blah, 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 blah. It was too much for me and it's just almost disappointing. It's like why like you have this mindset of like why do I do this if I can never achieve it? So like little mini things. Also something that I did last year that I want to mention is I did a fun girls night with one of my friends where we created a mood board of kind of the vibe, the aesthetic, and snuck in some goals that we wanted to achieve into our mood board. And it was like this fun little thing. We made each other dinner. It was super sweet. And you made it like a fun evening, but also playful and like not so serious. And now that I'm reflecting back on the mood board, I'm like, oh, I can see how that totally happened, even though in different ways that like I achieved some of my goals without really setting them as these goals. So that's a fun thing that I wanted to mention. If you have a bunch of girls you want to get together and do like a mood board situation, it's like super cute.
Yeah, because you can target a lot of different things, right? You don't
Yeah,
just pick
and
one
it's more
particular thing.
playful. It's
And it
more
also sits in
playful.
your house. It sits in your house or your wherever you live in your apartment or condo,
Yeah.
and you see it every day. Somehow it becomes part of your decor.
So yeah, so especially if you're into this whole aesthetic thing and you can kind of like make it fun, like this 2025, these are my theme colors, or this is what I want to play into, or like all these things. Like that's what my friend and I did in 2024, and we're already planning this one for this coming year, and it's just going to be so exciting. It's just a fun, playful thing where you don't make it so serious, and like you're not looking at it at the end of the year and being like, oh, I didn't get that, oh, I didn't get that. It's more like you find ways you did achieve those goals through the fun images that you chose, and it's
Yeah.
just a fun, playful thing.
It's a
But
fun
that
thing too. No, but I wanted
that
to
being
also
s-
mention, I just wanted to mention, Tash, that when you set these intentions for yourself in terms of goals, it's also important to set them not as necessarily these high achieving goals that kind of set you up for failure. In a way, I think that if you set a goal and you achieve the goal, you have to enjoy the ride as you achieve the goal. It's kind of like, do you remember that book that we read, Atomic
atomic
Habits?
habit, yeah.
Right. So like, okay, let's say for example, you decide you want to take care of your skin because we're all about skin, but it could be anything. I decide I'm going to take care of my skin. I'm going to wash my face morning and evening. I'm going to apply a four-step routine, for example. Well, as you're doing that, enjoy it.
Hmm.
Like embellish it, feel it, take the moment, take that 5 minutes and do it and enjoy it, because then when you set these goals and intentions for yourself, you learn to like them. So then as you move forward in the months of the year, they're not going to be these daunting things that you look at that are like, oh my God, I forgot to do this or I forgot to do that. It's like you can't wait to do it. And I think that goes with like exercise, eating well, taking care of yourself. Um, Also, if, for example, your goal is to go on vacation and I'm going to put aside $50 a month until I save this amount of money, and then I'm going to go on vacation or whatever that amount may be, enjoy it. I'm
Yeah.
depositing in my bank account. I'm putting it aside. Now I'm at this amount. Oh my gosh, I'm this much closer to my vacation, and kind of enjoy the ride. Because if you don't and you just only look at the end game, it's not as much fun to get there, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. That's
And
just my
it's
thoughts
also
about it.
100, I totally agree. I think that it changed after reread that book, Atomic Habits.
I know.
That changes your perspective on like, because once you reach your goal, then you're like, oh, well, what's next? And then you kind of don't continue
Yeah.
your journey of what got you there.
Yeah.
That being said, I really do want to get into, since it's 2025, we're talking about new starts, all these fun things. We really want to talk about what's going to be new at BSC in 2025. That being said, we're not going to give away everything. Because of course 2025 is a
We
big
gotta have
year
some
and we have
surprises for you.
some exciting things are going to come, but some things that we definitely do want to mention that is like the earliest thing that we're going to be launching very soon is a new and improved loyalty program. It's going to be the Glow Society 2.0. So you can look forward to different kind of benefits, different ways to earn points. We're going to make it a fun, new, refreshing program because we know how much our amazing clients and customers and purchasers and buyers loved our Glow Society. Like they're
Yeah.
obsessed with it, and we understand why. So we are just going to make it a smudge different and just as exciting. So we're really looking forward to that.
Yeah. And when is that launching?
I believe it's launching, if not January 15th
Yeah.
or February 1st. The actual date, I can't exactly remember, but we will
It's
be
January
giving,
15th. I was looking at it today. It's January 15th.
yeah, it might be February 1st though. So,
Oh, really?
yeah,
Okay.
that's, yeah.
That's okay.
So we will announce it to all of our loyal customers and our Glow Society Obsession peoples, and we'll let you know when it actually officially launches. But until then, you can still enjoy the points. Nothing's going to change. It's just how to redeem and how to earn points differently and added fun little stuff that we're going to do to the program.
More animations around it.
Yeah.
Exciting. And what's next? We're going to be, of course, launching in new brands. We're always launching in new brands. Sometimes we take a little pause because we have so much going on that we need to digest what we have
Yeah.
and learn about the brand and then bring in new ones. But one thing for sure that we're very excited about in 2025, and we've been talking about this for years, is bringing in fragrances. And
Yeah.
we did start this year with a local Montreal company called Licento, which I just happened to stumble across through somebody that I know, the owner that I know. I happened to see him one day walking in town, and he was telling me about his new project. He's an artist, and he says he was telling me that he was making natural fragrances, and I was very excited about it. We brought it in right before the holidays in December, and
Mhm.
it's been exceptionally successful for it. Super excited. It's a very kind of First of all, they're very affordable natural fragrances. So, and they really have this kind of Le Labo feel, like Aesop
Very
Le
like
Labo.
minimal, like
Yeah,
the packaging's very minimal, beautiful on your
really nice.
shelf, beautiful in your bathroom, very small range of scents, but like
There's only five.
very particular. And I think I like that because the more scents you have, the more confusing it is,
Hmm.
and overwhelming, I find. And the smell or the sense of every single one of them is so different, and it smells like natural
It smells
fragrances
quality.
rather than like chemically, like
Yeah,
even when you spray it on, you don't get that. Like I find sometimes when you put on certain perfumes or for men colognes, like the first spray that you put on, you
it's like
get
raw.
a little bit of like a chemical reaction and you can
Yeah,
smell the chemical in the perfume, which is you don't have this at all. It's like it's amazing.
yeah. And I have a friend who's really into fragrances, and I introduced him to the full five, the range of the five fragrances, of the five scents. And he was like completely surprised. Was not at all what he expected. Because normally, like, people just come out with these perfumes or fragrances, and it's not really great. They're good, but they're not great. These ones are great, and they're
Yeah.
very different, and they're kind of like universal. Men can wear them, and women can wear them. I'm somebody who really likes male cologne. Like, I wear male cologne. I don't wear female cologne. Funny enough, because I like more spicy and masculine.
Leather and
Yeah, I like that. And so it has that, but it also has the little bit, I would, for me, for my nose, it's a little bit sweeter. Like Natasha, the glow up, you really love the glow up, right?
I love the glow up. Yeah. I love
For
glow up
me,
and
it's a little bit
bossy.
more, and bossy.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're a little bit more sweet. So for my
Hmm.
nose, I like more the masculine smells, but I mean, the bossy can be worn by men and so can
Yeah.
glow up. So it's just really cool. It's a beautiful
Yeah.
brand, locally made in Montreal, and we're really proud to have that. And that's kind of the beginning step into bringing in the other fragrances that we're looking at bringing in this year. So it's very exciting for that.
Yes. Exactly. We're really excited for that. And then, yeah, so just new brands. I know specifically more brands that we want to bring in. I really do. I would love to focus this year more on like, we have so much skincare, but maybe more tools, like different ways that our customers can integrate tools into the routine that aren't just product based. Like we already have new face, but maybe like a red light therapy mask, like things where it can jazz up your skin routine. So definitely looking at some of those brands I think would be really fun if we could drop this year. So look forward to those.
Mhm.
Hopefully I can keep my promise here, but that's something
Promises,
that
we're gonna be held accountable.
yeah,
You
exactly.
gotta find
Uh,
it. So we did have one of those LED lights previously, but the thing is we sold a couple of them, but the company that we were dealing with is no longer existing, and the warranty on the product, like we had to refund a lot of them because the quality wasn't there. So for
yeah.
us, when we bring in products or bring in these kinds of tools and stuff, we really look at longevity of the product and quality and the support that we have from the supplier in the case that something goes array.
Yeah.
So for sure, when we find something, the right thing, we're going to bring it in for sure.
Yeah, so that's going to be fun. I want to switch gears here and talk to our listeners about how to set your skin up for success in 2025. I know that I feel like when we're going to talk about this topic, we kind of sound like a broken record, like the simplicity of finding the right routine for your skin, knowing how to like let's say self-diagnose, but not necessarily like understanding your skin's concern, your skin type. We always repeat this in all the episodes we record with all of the um, top performers and or top leaders in the industries. We talk about on our solo episodes. We say it in our blogs. Like we are repeating this like crazy, but I think we do this because it's really important to talk about it. So, and it's so simple and it's so easy and it shouldn't be difficult. There's so much information out there. There's so much, excuse my
That's the
language, shit
problem, though.
going
That's the
around. So
problem.
that's
Yeah.
why we want to bring it back here all the time and like just make it super simple and like it shouldn't be this big orchestrated thing. You shouldn't have like 45 different things, blah 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 blah. It's really simple.
Mhm.
So B, why don't you tell our listeners
Yeah,
how
I'm like
how do
ready to
you
jump in.
yeah, how do you like self-diagnose? How do you find what your skin
So there's,
concern is and
there's
how do
the
you find
first,
what your skin type
yeah,
is?
the first most important thing that you need to remember when you're looking at your own skin is that your skin is unique. It's yours. So do not follow trends, period. I can't say it enough because you're going to spend a lot of money doing that and you're not necessarily going to get the results that you're looking for. That's the number one thing. So if you see something from an influencer on Instagram with acne or with whatever, use this product. Speak to a professional. Okay, that's the
Yeah.
first thing. Okay, so I'm going to try and dissect this a little bit.
So
When you
let's go first with like how do you do your skin type? Give
So
like
I think,
examples.
yeah. So the first thing is there's two things. You need to ask yourself two questions. When you wash your face in the morning and the evening, after you wash your face, how does it feel? Okay? When we're looking at skin type, how does it feel? Does it feel tight? Does it feel irritated? How does it feel? Second thing is, how does it feel at lunchtime? And how does it feel at the end of the day? Because those things are going to help you to really easily identify where your skin is at. So if your skin after you wash your face feels very dry and tight, there's two things. You could be using the wrong product, or the second thing is your skin is dry and dehydrated. If your skin feels very, very irritated, red, could be that you're using the wrong product. Could be that your skin is has a
Reactive.
sensitivity issue. And and then again at lunchtime, if you're super oily and feeling really greasy on your cheeks and not just your T-zone, you might have a tendency to be oily, and so on. Okay, so those are the questions that you ask yourself about your skin. The second thing you need to know is if you look at a mirror and you look at your skin, ask yourself, if I could change three things about my skin, what would they be? In order of priority. So it could be acne, redness, pigment. It could be fine lines and wrinkles, firmness, redness. But you have to know what that is, because once you understand what your skin type is, more or less, and what your concerns are, then you're going to know what kind of products to use and what kind of products to use to get the results that you're looking for. Does that make sense?
Targeting.
Yeah.
Yes, totally.
So, because a lot of people will come to us and say, I'm sensitive. And I'm like, but sensitive
Why?
is, first of all, it's not a skin type, right? It's misinterpreted. But are you
It
sensitive
is.
because when you use products, your skin gets irritated? What is it? You're sensitive because you break out sometimes? Because those two things are not sensitive.
No.
Okay. So anyway, so I could go on and on and on about this, but those are the two things that I would always ask yourselves. And once you understand what that is, you stick to the basics, you start slow and you integrate, you start with a routine. Let's say 4 steps is the best, and you stick with it. Stick with it. Because if you're dealing with acne, redness, rosacea, if you're dealing with hyperpigmentation or discoloration, you're dealing with aging, it took you that long for your skin to get in that shape. It's going to take that long for your skin to revert, to improve and get better.
Yeah. I also want to mention if you're like, you've done everything that Beata's telling you and you're still struggling a little bit, like we do offer virtual consults on
Yeah.
VSC where we can look at your skin, talk to you about it, help you understand what, in other words, like just how Beata just explained everything, but really on a personal level. So you can always book a virtual consultation. If not, go see a professional, go get a facial, go talk to someone who's reputable, who understands the skin, and then like get advice from somebody who like knows what they're talking about, who's going to help you, like you're going to tell them what your concerns are. They're going to be like, perfect, I totally understand, and this is your skin type, and I maybe I see the way your skin is a little bit differently. She or he can tweak that, you know. So I think
Yeah.
really referring to someone who's a professional and
And then,
not
yeah.
basing your similarities of maybe some skin things to your favorite influencer or TikToker or this or that, like really talk to somebody who knows what they're talking about and who
Yeah.
can
And
really
I want
help
to
you.
add to that, Tash. I want to add to that. When you go to somebody who knows what they're talking about, it's very important, and no offense, that you're not going to a salesperson. Okay. So if you're going to somebody at a store who just wants to sell you a product, who doesn't see your skin, who doesn't ask you a whole bunch of questions about your skin, who doesn't understand what your concerns are, who doesn't really get it, and they're just like, oh, you're here, you need a moisturizer. Well, I really like this product and I have a quota that I need to achieve with it, so I'm going to sell you this. That's not expertise. Expertise is somebody who's going to ask you probably 15 to 20 questions about your skin. They're going to probably want to look at your skin without makeup. They're going to ask you for pictures. They're going to ask you about situations, what you're using at home. They're going to ask you a whole bunch of stuff. If they don't, believe me, you're just probably going to spend money on stuff that is not going to work for you, because
Yeah. You're going in circles.
you go to the doctor, for example, okay? You go to the doctor and you say, I'm not feeling well, I have a sore throat. They don't just say, well, here's medication. They're going to say, how long have you had the sore throat? Do you have a cough? Do you have a fever? How long have you had it for? Let me look in your mouth and see what's going on in your mouth. Let's,
Yeah.
they're going to ask a whole bunch of questions to be able to say, okay, you've got strep, you've got a throat infection, you've got this, you've got that. You can't just like randomly just prescribe an antibiotic to somebody without asking questions and looking. It's the same thing with your skin. It's your largest organ, so take it seriously. Even though when you get into routines, it's very easy, you still have to take it seriously, because otherwise you're spending money and you're not going to be happy. And that's not what we want.
Yeah. So once we've figured out our skin type and our skin concern, what should you focus on if you're new to skincare, and especially medical grade skincare? Like, what is it that we say to those who are new to this industry, trying out products for the first time, what is the best recommendation? Where to start?
Well, say, first of all, you need 4 steps. Okay, so you need a really good cleanser. You're going to use a cleanser in your skin type and also your concerns. A vitamin C is a great go-to. And believe me, there's a vitamin C for everyone. If you're acne
Hmm.
prone, if you're dry, if you have aging skin, if you have hyperpigmentation, no matter what your problem or challenge is or where you want to work on, vitamin C is a great product to incorporate into your routine. And there is one for all skin types. It doesn't make you break out, doesn't make
No.
you reactive if you're using the right product. That's a
Yeah.
great first start in serums. It's antioxidant, it's brightening, it reduces inflammation. There's, going to work on the texture, tone, clarity, radiance. It's great. Very preventative too. And then a good moisturizer. Moisturizer will depend on what your concerns are and your skin type also. So if you're very dry, you don't want to be using a gel. You want to be using something a little bit more lipidic. So you need to understand that. And then in the morning, a great SPF. Those are the 4 steps. And there's SPFs for acne prone skin. There's SPF for
Dry,
sensitive,
anything.
like red skin, for dry, for pigmented skin. There is something for everybody when you get into medical grade skincare. And once you're on those 4 basic steps, that's when you use that and use it consistently morning and evening and don't waver and stick with it. Then after that, you can start to incorporate other things in your routine. For
Like,
example,
talk about ingredients specifically. Like, what ingredients could you add in? I know it's dependent on different concerns and skin types, but maybe we can like highlight some really fun ingredients that people can look into and see if it's for them.
so if you're acne prone, okay, using products that contain glycolics or like AHAs, like glycolic acid, or BHAs, which is more salicylic acid, is very good. Salicylic acid specifically. Using if you're and also for acne prone skin, using products that are very calming at the same time, because of what a lot of people with acne will do is they attack their skin very aggressively, which makes the acne worse because it knocks
Yeah.
off the skin barrier. So
It's
you
also
want to
inflammation. It's very
causes
damaging.
the first thing we do oftentimes when we're dealing with people that have acne skin, like you see them and it looks sore almost because they went at it so hard and they're overwashing, over exfoliating, over everything and undernourishing. So you can have acne skin that is
And
very
dry
dry,
skin.
hydrated,
Hmm.
right? So you want to make sure that you're using products that are really going to tackle the acne, but also make sure you're balancing your skin barrier, the microbiome of your skin, and all that kind of thing. And also looking at how you eat is also very important. And there's other things too, but those are the basics. When you're getting into discoloration, for example, people that suffer from pigment or melasma, hyperpigmentation, very important to use a sunscreen every day, also for all skin types, even acne. Acne, a lot of people think, oh, I'll just go in the sun, it'll dry it out. It's a disaster. Don't do that. So for discoloration, things that are really great are alpha arbutin, or that's more like a natural ingredient. Also, turmeric is very good for hyperpigmentation because it's very calming, also good for acne. And also, if you want to go more aggressively, you can get into hydroquinone. When you're working with hydroquinone, I think the maximum level that you can get as a over the counter is 2%.
2% in Canada only.
In Canada. But what I'm going to say is if you're going to start using hydroquinone, it can only be used for a certain amount of time, let's say 4 months, and then you have to wean off of it. You can use it multiple times during the year, but you cannot use it all the time.
You
So
also
it's,
have to prep your skin too
yeah,
before you implement hydroquinone. Hydroquinone is something that would you
yeah.
need a proper pre-routine and post-routine to
You need to
not
taper
cause
off.
any adverse reactions.
Yeah, you need to taper off it. You can't just
Yeah.
stop using hydroquinone
No.
from one day to the next.
Especially
So
when you're dealing with medical grade skincare. Like these are
yeah,
like serious ingredients. Like you don't want to mess around with that.
yeah, exactly.
Um, it's very important.
I am loving Jan Marini's Luminate Eye Gel. I've been using it for months and it's my favorite product for tackling dark circles, puffiness, and crepiness. It's packed with retinol power, but gentle enough for everyone. And if you're dealing with milia, its gentle formula hydrates without being too rich. You apply it under eyes only and never on the lids. And remember, as with most retinols, there's an acclimation period. So start slowly, like 2 to 3 nights per week, and then gradually increase to every night. I promise you won't be disappointed. If you want to try this product, go to bskinenvie.ca. That's bskinenvie.ca and use code SKINTALKS to get 10% off your first order.
Let's say
Other
like aging, like let's say like overall aging. I know there's different components to
niacinamide
it.
for a lot. You've got vitamin A, retinol, vitamin C for aging,
Peptides.
also peptides. A product like PTOX that has all these proprietary ingredients from L'Oreal SkinCeuticals is great for like topically relaxing the muscles.
Baby Botox in a bottle.
Exactly. We're not allowed to say that, but we do anyways.
I say it all the time.
I know. Um, when you have aging skin, also oftentimes it's fine lines and wrinkles, and also discoloration comes with aging skin. So using products that are very resurfacing. So glycolics is also great. Yeah, there's a ton of stuff, and a lot of the products that are for acne, red skin, or aging skin discoloration, they're oftentimes common in all the products, but there's different levels of ingredients per
Yeah.
se. Like you'll have a higher level of salt.
Concentration levels.
Right. If you're dealing like with the Jan Marini Skin Research System, they have BioClear Face Lotion or cream for dry, dehydrated skin. And that contains three different acids: glycolic acid, azelaic acid, and salicylic acid. So when you have that combination of those ingredients, it's good for all skin types. So for acne prone, red skin, hyperpigmentation, aging skin, because each one of those ingredients works together, and it's one of these miracle products that I love that everybody can use. That's really going to, it's a game changer when it comes to skin.
Hmm.
And then when you're dealing with products that are, if you have, I would say dry and dehydrated skin is lack of water, dry skin is lack of oil, so lipids. So really understanding if you have, which one you have. Most people are dehydrated, even if they're like red, or even if they have aging
Most
skin.
people are dehydrated nowadays
Even
because of all the
especially
externals.
oily skin can be very dehydrated because there's
Yeah.
two different things, oil and water, right? So you have to know that. There are things to reestablish your microbiome,
Barrier.
your barrier. If you've got really dry skin, which will be very, like people that have dry skin, their pores are very, 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 very tight and small. People that have oilier, like oily T-zone, that's where you get those larger pores or a lot
There's
of,
also there's also a trick when you have like really dehydrated skin, like you kind of can like push your skin together, like
see it.
slightly squeeze it, and you'll see all these little lines kind of
Yeah.
like get together. So whenever like I go up to somebody and I'm like they're dehydrated, I'm like I squeeze their skin and I'm like, yeah, you're like extremely dehydrated.
So if you're
You know?
concerned with fine lines and wrinkles and you have dehydrated skin, you need to hydrate your skin properly because your fine lines and wrinkles are going to show up a million times more. Like you
Yeah.
often see it on people around their eyes, you see it on forehead, cheeks when they smile, lots of little fine lines. That's because the skin is so dehydrated that it's like cracking. Like you got to think of it
Yeah.
like tissue paper in a way. But dry skin is completely different. And people with dry skin, their pores are going to be tight, 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 tight. You won't see a pore. Their skin looks very smooth. And when they have this dryness on their skin, they often get like red patches, which will be mistaken for like dermatitis or like you'll get people that will say, "Oh, I have dermatitis on my face." And it's like, "No, your skin barrier is off. You're not giving the skin the lipids that it needs." And oftentimes when you go into those, you're dealing with people like as you get older, at your age, Tash, versus at my age, my skin is way drier than it was when I was in my 30s. Because naturally,
Hmm.
as you go through menopause and you get older, male or female, even though they don't go through menopause, the skin just naturally gets drier. So your skin needs, or it feels that it needs, more lipid,
More.
more
Yeah.
soothing and nice textures that really give that feeling of hydration. Otherwise, like if I'm not properly hydrated, I can feel it in my neck. Like I feel it
Yeah,
everywhere.
I can feel it too. And also like your makeup won't sit properly. You have there's so many indicators that your skin
Mhm.
makeup will always look the best when you have the healthiest skin underneath. So there's times when my makeup's not looking good. I'm like, oof, I need to put on an extra cream or I need to exfoliate. There's certain things that are like indicators that your skin's not at its
Not
ultimate
happy.
health. right?
You know?
I want to talk to you about treatments, because we always talk about the skin and taking care of it at home, but it's also just as important to be taking care of it in the salon, in the spa, I mean. And where would you start? You've never had a facial before. You really want to start investing in your skin this year. Like, where do you start?
Okay, so think of facials like going to the dentist and brushing your teeth morning and evening as your skincare morning and evening. One without the other throughout a lifetime is possible, but just imagine you never go to the dentist your whole life, even if you brush your teeth, or you don't brush your teeth and you only go to the dentist. Like one needs the other to be complete somehow for the optimal dental hygiene health, of your mouth. And the same goes with your skin. So that's the number one
Yeah.
thing. Don't look at facials as a luxury. Look at it more as my skin needs it. It's the largest organ. It's exposed to everything every single day. I put my skin through hell. Maybe I don't see it right now because I'm in my 20s, 30s, and 40s. But believe me, when you get into your 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond, you will see that what you did in your youth to your skin. So your
Mhm.
esthetician is really the expert who's going to take care of your skin. The first thing I would do is I would find in whatever town you live in an esthetician that is reputable, that has good reputation, is recommended, is working at a good clinic that you feel safe with, that asks you all the questions that we talked about before, that's going to like really dive into your skin and not just try to sell you something, because there are those kinds of people out there, unfortunately. You need to find somebody who you can really trust with your skin.
Yeah.
You need to go, well, you need, I recommend a 4 times a year, a deep cleansing facial.
When
Just,
the seasons change.
yeah, in each season, and a facial in itself is very, very anti-aging because they use products and ingredients in the skincare facials that are not what you find in retail products or what you can buy. They're special for estheticians, so the percentages of the active ingredients are higher. There's a methodology behind it, and there's a rhyme and reason for everything. So if they pick a facial for you for redness, then they're going to use products in that facial that are going to help to desensitize your skin, calm the redness down, reduce the redness, reduce the discomfort, and balance out your skin barrier. So I could go on about this.
That's beginners, yeah.
Yeah, but 4 times a year, and facials will not cause you to have acne or breakout or to have skin sensitivity or anything. That what can happen when you do a facial is a purging process. The same thing when you get on a new skincare routine. You can purge and have some breakouts following a facial, but it's not because of the facial that you have it. It's because your skin is congested, and the facial, what it's done is it's
An
liberated.
opening, it's
It's
like,
opened it up so that your skin can let go of all the toxins and everything that it's been holding inside. So it gets out, okay?
mhm.
So never worry about a facial being something that is going to cause you to break out. And if you do them regularly, you will see that the more you do them, the less you have these kinds of potential adverse effects of a couple pimples, for example. That's the baseline. And if you, when you get into the skincare journey and you want to like explore that more, there's other things that you can do to add into those deep cleansing facials, like peels. There's microdermabrasion. There's different types of microneedling with RF or just basic microneedling that are
Love.
PRP. There's a lot of different things that you can do. But the skincare expert that you go to see, who's going to help you with your skincare routine and also help you with your journey in terms of what products or in terms of what treatments to use throughout the year, is going to guide you and explain it to you. And you can ask a lot of questions around that, like, why do I need to do IPL, or why should I do this, or why should I do that, so that you understand and learn more about your skin, which will help you in the whole process of your skin's optimal health. But
Yeah.
treatments along the way, if you can afford to do it, are very, very helpful and very, very effective in optimizing your skin health as you get older, because we're getting older every day, right? So
So
did I
ultimately, it's not that difficult. It's
really easy?
pretty easy. Um, it shouldn't be confusing. If it's confusing, you can always ask us more questions, but it's really, at the end of the day, it's pretty simple what you have to do, and it shouldn't be daunting.
No, really not. It's
Um,
more fun, like fun. Make it
yeah.
like I commit to myself to take care and I'm going to enjoy this 10 minutes a day just for me.
And it's fun to also like, oh, I get to try this new brand, or I've really like looked at this product and now I get to finally try it. So it's like it should be a fun, exciting time for you to indulge. That being said, we want to end this episode today with some of our personal treatments that we want to try in 2025 and products that we want to try in 2025. That being said, we try a lot of products. And we do, I mean, we've tried a lot of treatments because we're in the industry. So this was a little bit hard, I think, for us to really
Yeah,
like
because
kind of
you're
figure
always
out.
trying stuff.
We're always trying different stuff and we're fed with all this stuff and we're like, oh my God. But why don't you go first? Give our audience 2 to 3 products that you really, or just a couple treatments or products that you want to try in 2025 that maybe could spike some interest for our listeners.
So, one product that I want to try is from Biofora. I've tried their skincare products, but they recently launched the Velvet Body Cream. And they sent me a sample before they launched it just for me to be able to test it. And I put it on my hands. And first of all, the smell is fabulous and the texture is
Love that.
beautiful. But what I like so much about this product is particularly for me, but for anybody also, if you're suffering from KP or if you just have pigment on your body or just feel that your skin's a little bit like rough, it contains AHAs. And I even tasted it. I'm like, oh yeah, this contains AHA because you can taste an AHA. It's like a little bit sour. But
So
I,
weird.
I'm not, I'm crazy, but I, I want to use it on my body because I have sun damage on my body. I spent a lot of time taking care of my face in my life, but my body, I've always put sunscreen on, but somehow the body just gets more exposed in the summers and stuff like that. And so I have some pigment spots on my arm. So I want to use that to see what it does for that. But I
Okay.
also like the notion of a gentle exfoliation on the body every single day. That really helps to create that beautiful dewy texture on the body.
Hmm.
People spend so much time on their face, but the body, like the hands, the body, and the neck, they really are indicators of age, which I am not saying isn't a good thing because I mean I'm somebody who believes age is a privilege. So I think that getting older is a beautiful thing, and just being really comfortable in your skin at that time. It's also beautifully hydrating. So I'm looking forward to trying that product. The other products that I want to try, and I don't have one in particular, it's just I was in the warehouse the other day and I was looking at this brand and it does so well for us that I kind of wanted to introduce some things into my routine around cognition and, focus for the brain from
Mm,
Anna. I'm really
yeah.
excited to try some Anna products. People really, really love them. I really like the concept behind the brand. And I like whatever I see on their social channel. They're very like
Animated.
environment and really all about the body wellness, even though they do have some skincare products. And the other thing that I want to try is the mouth tape. I haven't tried the
Mm,
mouth tape, so I have to try
I
that.
have.
Very confidential.
Okay.
There you go.
Amazing. I love it.
What about you?
I would say that I've tried a lot of product. I have a very good healthy skincare routine, so I'm nervous to steer away from it, but I definitely am interested in trying Skin Better Science because I've just seen how well the brand has done. And obviously the product itself is amazing. The technology behind it, science behind it, everything's amazing. So I'm willing to step out and take a pause on Jan Marini and try Skin Better Science. So I really want to try the entire range specific to my skin concerns and skin type. So that's something that I'm looking forward to trying. And then, like I said, I have a really good skin routine going. So I would like to add in things to my routine that complements, like supplements from Glycidin. I've tried them in the past before. I haven't really stuck to them because I have a hard time staying consistent. But I'm really looking into doing that. And I really want to try a like get into more technologies in terms of like red light therapy on my skin and doing things that add to my routine. That being said, like we said in the beginning of this episode, we want to bring in some brands that maybe provide different technologies and treatments that are at home. So once we get a hold of that, I'm really gonna try to implement that. Like I can just imagine myself in my bed, like reading a book with my red light mask on and just seeping in all the benefits from everything that I've done to my skin. So those are really the things that I want to try this year, and I think it's gonna be great. It's so
Yeah.
fun.
We talked a little bit before, Tash, about chatting about different treatments that we wanted to try also because we're big believers in the aesthetics industry, like we were talking about before, and seeing your esthetician or medical esthetician. Is there anything in particular that you want to do this year in terms of like treatment focus?
Um, I mean, I would stay on my microneedling train. I definitely want to do that and stay consistent with microneedling. Um, Probably just like some peels and nothing new. Like just my regular things. Like I'm not gonna veer off and try some new treatments just yet. I think I'm doing like the most when it comes to treatments that are like like that are for my skin concern because I have melasma. I can't just like pop in a Morpheus 8 whenever I want or IPL because it's not for my skin. So I think what I'm doing currently is really good and I'll just stay very consistent with that and look younger by the end of 2025.
Yeah, I think you just brought up an important point too. Like we were talking before about going for facials and finding a really trusting, reputable esthetician, medical esthetician. That right there, what you said, Tashi, is you have melasma, and melasma is very tough to treat when you're doing any kind of technology that has heat. So when you do find a person in your life that can help you with your skincare routine, if you do have hyperpigmentation that has been deemed as more melasma hormonally related, it's
Hmm.
very important to note that you can't just pop off on a heat device. So IPL is heat, and
Yeah.
IPL can cause, if it's not in the right hands, it can cause your melasma to become to become worse, more prominent, or it can do the opposite. So but there are some situations that certain estheticians will do like a series or a cure, let's say, of hydroquinone for 4 months, wean you off slowly, and then we'll do a touch of IPL that is to control the melasma. But you really need to know where you're going and you need to know that they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And that goes with everything, like
Yeah.
in terms of treatments. So I'll tell you, for me, I've been seeing a lot on social media recently around CO2 laser, which CO2 laser is a very invasive procedure that causes, it's like I'm not going to pretend to give you the medical around it, but basically what it does is it's like almost like a burn, but and it makes your skin ooze. It makes like you have a huge,
Gnarly.
it's gnarly. It's a 2 week downtime in most cases, unless you incorporate exosomes, which can reduce that. But I've seen a lot of people doing it around their eye area for fine lines and wrinkles. So that's a concern of mine. So I would love to look at that. But the other thing for me in 2025, I'm somebody who does regular facials. I've always done them, so I'm very committed to that. But I do want to start a program that's over a 12-month that is going to work with the DP4 microneedling treatment. Also, I'd like to do some Morpheus 8, even though it's not the most pleasant experience that you can ever do for yourself because it does hurt even though you numb, but the results are phenomenal, as well as IPL. So I want to build this 12-month program that I'm going to be doing those three things because I'll work on firmness, tone, pigment, redness, texture, clarity of the skin for pigment, redness. It really is a very global approach. So attacking the skin for me is really about a little bit of this and a little bit of that. If done consistently, will make sure that your skin stays as healthy as possible. And then also on top of it, that is not too much. Because if you do microneedling too frequently, too often, too close together, it can cause premature aging of the skin. So it's very important that you space that out properly. But that's my commitment to myself for this year. I
Love
just,
it. Look forward to seeing the results in
yeah,
2026.
yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, so this is
So
fun because we talked all about
yes.
things that we love, all about skincare,
Hmm.
fun stuff that we love. So hopefully this inspires you to take charge of your skin and your well-being and implement some things that are going to be easy and accessible to you. If you ever need help with anything, like I said, go to your esthetician. But if not, like Natasha said before, we do have our virtual consultations and we're more than happy to assist, as well as on our chat box. You can also send emails if you ever need anything. We're always here to help.
That being said, have a wonderful 2025.
Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed the episode, please take a moment to rate, review, and follow us on social at Skin Talks Pod. We'll see you next week.